Okay, so all 9 of my subscribers know that we only talk about hot stocks from hot sectors like SNDK, which has been in a pretty strong uptrend, a super trend, which simply means that it is both extremely bullish on all time frames, so daily, weekly, monthly, intraday time frames as well even. But not only that, we also have insane amount of volume on the weekly levels as well, on the weekly charts. Or maybe MU, which has also been in a absolute super trend as well, again trailing all its moving averages, super bullish, barely getting the opportunity to pull back into its moving averages before simply breaking out again. That's data storage, but we also have RKLB, Rocket Lab, which is in an emerging sector, a very brand new, hot and emerging sector called space, especially if the billionaires get to fulfill their wet dreams of putting data centers in space. And as we can see here, we have RKLB being supported by all of its moving averages. We've got the 10, we've got the 21, we've got the 10 and the 21 as well on the weekly charts, and we are trending, making higher highs and higher lows very beautifully. But how about ASTS, Space Mobile? Again, these are hot stocks from hot sectors. So what are we going to get? We're going to get higher highs and higher lows. We're going to get it on the daily. We're also going to get it on the weekly charts as well. So that often means breakouts with multi-day pushes, and that's what we like to see. Pullback breakout, multi-day push, breakout, multi-day push. But not everyone is aware of the new rotation. We can often be left trading what was hot. And by what was hot, I'm talking about the Magnificent 7. Let's start with Meta. And what do we immediately see on Meta? We're going to start on the weekly because multi-time frame analysis is mandatory, and having multiple time frames on your side simply makes trading so much easier. And as of right now, Meta is below its 21-week moving averages and its 10-week moving averages. That is resistance. But not only that, we are making lower lows and lower highs. And that's not all as well. Based on what I'm seeing on this chart, we also get a sell-off with a giant elephant candle on an increase in volume. That does not look good. What does look good is that on a macro long trend, Meta is bullish in the very long term. But as of right now, we are definitely not bullish. It looks like we're trying to reclaim on the daily here, getting above the 10 and 21 day. But this is by no means a tradable setup. It certainly will be nice to see if we can get over these areas of resistance and above all moving averages, not just on the daily, but on the weekly as well. Meta was once really hot on the Magnificent 7 and just simply in a really strong super trend, but that is not what it's doing right now. And it's important that we do not play favorites and just simply let these stocks go once the rotation is no longer with these mega caps. And that's what they are, right? They're all mega caps. And that in a way can be considered a sector in itself. So let's take a look at Tesla, and on the daily chart, it's not looking too hot. Actually, we can kind of say that Tesla has been going sideways definitely since October, but even further back, if we look on the weekly, we've got this peak here back in December 2024. So for more than a year, Tesla has not been able to make much of a gain at all. The good news is that Tesla is relatively holding these highs and isn't showing any signs of completely breaking down, but it's simply in a area of consolidation or accumulation. Again, when we compare charts like this that is making big moves and pulling back, making big moves and trying to pull back again, it's just not the same when we look at something like MU, which is just absolutely vertical. It's really the image that we want in our head when we're trying to figure out what's really hot right now. The great ones really do look vertical, especially on the weekly chart. Just imagine how much easier life will be buying something like MU and SNDK versus trying to catch something in Microsoft right now, just anywhere along these lines, or trying to buy any of these really tiny bounces. Again, Microsoft is below its moving averages on the daily and on the weekly chart, and that is just not okay. Any stock below the moving averages is dead to me. And in the macro sense, I'm sure Microsoft is going to be a great stock for a long time to come. But as of right now, it is not hot. What do I like about Microsoft right now? Well, it's pulling back into a weekly support level, which looks great. And it could be a strong possibility that Microsoft could find a support here on the weekly chart and tighten up, show us a tightness in volatility, and give us a beautiful volatility contraction with with a decrease in volume and a breakout with an increase in volume. That's what we want to see. However, this price action is not what we want to see, and if anyone is still religiously trading these Mag 7 stocks because they were hot, that can be a very stressful thing. Amazon as well, again, kind of doing the sideways thing, and you can see that that's sort of the theme with the Mag 7 stocks there. They may not be completely crashing like some of the other names that make their way straight to the bottom, but we can definitely see we're in this sideways consolidation, not going anywhere, not doing too much. But certainly not as strong as some of the other really hot sectors. Again, Amazon, what I like about it is that it is trying to build a structure on a key level, which is a good thing, which means that within a couple of days or a couple of weeks, we could be in for a really nice breakout with an increase in volume. We did get a nice little strong green candle here, not much volume. So what does that mean? Well, we will probably pull back into the support area here. Again, we might tighten up and we could get that push with an increase in volume. Or even if we do continue, a breakout into new all-time highs is okay as well. Again, as long as that increase in volume does come in. Sector rotation is the name of the game. And when a particular sector isn't hot, even a prior leader like NVIDIA, which, was the #1 stock for quite some time, is also, kind of just relaxing right now. Again, it's going sideways. It's not really doing much. It's kind of just consolidating. And if there's anyone who's really still trading NVIDIA like they did back here, like this is what SNDK and MU looks like on their weekly and daily charts right now. So everybody gets their turn, but when the party is over, it's really important to just step away because it's not going to be a fun time. Leaders do not lead forever, but when they do, it's important to be able to identify them and be part of the party. Okay, so we have Google, which is actually probably the strongest stocks out of the Mag 7. Let's look at Apple first because it is also just ripping downwards and even breaking into this support area. Funny enough, Apple is using Google as their new AI assistant. And I don't know if that has anything to do with that news. But again, Apple is in a downtrend below its moving averages on the daily, below its moving averages on the weekly. Mag 7 as a whole is simply taking a break from pretty much carrying the entire stock market pretty much all of last year. So that's totally okay. Google is doing much better because they're simply killing it in the AI business. These days, they're pretty much going one-to-one with ChatGPT and OpenAI with a lot of their tools because they just have so much data on all of us. So at least one of them is doing okay and is in a super trend where it is bullish on its daily and above its moving averages on both the daily and the weekly time frame. Last entry though would have been with weekly support all the way here at about during the fall. Of course, buys with weekly support are always the best because they provide multi-day and multi-week breakouts, and that's what you get here: an inside day and a breakout, or I should say a gap up after an inside day with a slight increase in volume coming out of the breakout, and you get a textbook breakout with a multi-week move. Not far off from the move on SNDK, taking a play from a key level again on the weekly, because weekly support, it provides you with a multi-day, multi-week level move. And whether it was taken on the breakout or the pullback, it's all the same, especially when you're coming from a really, really hot stock. So the reason why I made this video is to say that a huge part of my process is to identify what is hot, what was hot, and you know what's becoming hot and making sure it's really being tracked on my watch list. And the Mag 7, they're taking a break, so it's okay to take a break from them. The rules do not state that we need to be loyal to one stock. We are loyal to where the momentum is heading. There are some more hot sectors, more hot stocks from hot sectors that I'd like to talk about. So go ahead and hit the like button and maybe even subscribe, because on this channel we only talk about the hottest stocks from the hottest sectors. Peace.